Yes, and we have four class. In every class, we have to discuss regarding one of the module. Okay, and today we will discuss regarding the first module, pedagogy of social science. The first module, which consists of the 5 units, and many more important contents are there in this module. And all the 5 units, just we have to cover the important topics. Yes. And I hope you all, if you have gone through all the through of your materials, then you will easily understand what we are going to discuss here. Because 2 hours time is not sufficient to complete whole the module. But I will touch the important things, what is most essential for all of you. You as a student of social science methodology, you must know about that. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, I will now start to share my screen. I have prepared some PPT for all of you. Just one can confirm me that my screen is visible to all of you. Screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
very good. Okay, thank you. So we are going to discuss your paper, social science pedagogy, pedagogy of social science methodology. Today we will discuss regarding the block 1. And as you know, the social science is the subject which is having the equal weightage in the school curriculum as compared with the all other subjects, as mathematics, science, English, all other language is getting the weightage in the school curriculum. Same, the social science also is having the same weightage in the school curriculum for our children up to 10th class. Yes. So what is social science? Why the students need to read social science? Why it is essential that every students must know regarding, must read the social science and must have some social science knowledge. Can anyone tell to me? Can anyone respond? Just any one of you.
Ma'am, through social science, we can know our past events, cultures, traditions,
Yes.
and our economic status, etc.
Okay. Okay, very good. As we know that we all human beings are social animals. Are you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. No doubt we are living in a society, but eh, eh, like all other creatures, we are also the living organism, no doubt. But we are something different from them. And we have a society, and we are living in the society according to the certain rules, regulations, and norms. So, by being a part and parcel of the society, we must have knowledge regarding the society, how to live in the society. So when a normal human being, as a normal human being we born, we have no idea regarding the society. So to make us fit to live in the society, we have to know regarding the social rules, regulations, norms, etc. So for that purpose, it is most essential for one of us to know about all these things. And in this regard, the social science is the subject is going to help our children to know more about the society. So that is the main objective why social science is included in our school curriculum. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Uh, my voice is clearly audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ye-
ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so social science, all others think that the social science is not an important subject. Not like that. as all other subject has the weightage is having as a paper like mathematics, like English, social science is also has given the same importance in the curriculum, in our school curriculum from up to 10th class. Okay. And social science is the subject in the primary stage. It is called as a social science, but at the secondary stage, it is called as the social studies. Okay. So before going to discuss more detail regarding the social science content, approach, pedagogy, and methodology, tools, evaluation, first of all, we will discuss what is the meaning of social science. What is the meaning of social science? As a layman, can anyone tell to me what you understand? What is the meaning of social science? Can anyone respond?
Social science is a aspect of human body and human life and human culture.
Okay. Social science is also called as the science of society. Are you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Science of
Social science
society.
means a person
Science,
who socialize, who learn to
yes,
how to socialize, how to ma'am socialize, learn to social science.
yes, definitely. Social science is a subject. It is called as the science of society. Science means we know that the technical things of a particular subject. Okay. So like other science, social science is also a science which deals with the society. Society means we know the society is about the human beings. Yes or no? Society is about the human being. So social science is the subject which we can say deals directly with the human beings, and we can say it studies the relationship of the human beings with the society. Yes. So social science is a very important subject which help the human beings to study the relationship with all other beings and also with the society. So it's very important for one of us to know or to about the social science and to make us more sociable to live in the society. So for that purpose, social science got a equal weightage in our school curriculum like other subjects. But the thing is that we are going to study the social science as a subject only to secure the marks in the exam. But the very important purpose of reading social science is not exactly like that. The main purpose of reading social science is to make the individual more sociable. Yes, to make the individual more sociable, more civilized, and to know how to adjust, how to accommodate in the different situations in the society, and how to lead the society towards. Okay. So for that purpose, social science is a very important subject. Every student must learn it from the this point of view. It means it helps to develop a social attitude among the students. So for that purpose, it's very important for the social studies teacher to teach the students, to deal the students at the time of teaching social science very minutely, to develop the social attitude, sociable behavior, and to make them more humanistic in nature and to make them more civilized. Yes, so it's very difficult. All other think that social science is a very easy subject. Not like that. It is very difficult to teach social science in a proper way to our children. Are you agree?
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
And social science at the primary stage is known as the social science. But when it is there at the secondary stage, it is going to cover the all other disciplines like history, geography, political science, economics, sociology, and psychology. Okay, so social science, we can say it is a subject by taking all other different subjects, like all these what now I told you. Screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So here I have mentioned, you see, social science is the subject which is going to deal with more subject. It is going to, in social science, we are going to study about history. We are studying about geography. We are studying about political science, economics, sociology, psychology, and we can say we are going to study about the anthropology also. So it is a subject by it going to mix all other subjects. Okay. So it's very difficult to understand the nature of social science. So if you will come to the point, what is the nature of social science? First thing is that it is concerned with human beings. So it studies the human relationship. It studies the human relationship between them and also a relation of the human beings with the society. Okay. So first nature of the social science is it is humanistic in nature. Yes. If a screen is not visible, I am not audible, please inform to me. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we see that social science not only it is humanistic in nature, it is going to study also different social issues. As we know in the society, different issues are there regarding our culture, our ethics, blind beliefs, and according to the contemporary issues. The social science is the subject is also going to deal with all other issues and challenges. So we are going to read all those things also in social science. And we can say in one sentence, we can say that it is more comprehensive in nature. What do you mean by the word comprehensive? Please respond. What is comprehensive? If you will say social science is comprehensive in nature, what do you mean by it?
It's both of curricular and co-curricular activities, including.
Yes, the meaning of the word comprehensive is it is going to cover many other subjects. As I previously in the previous slide, I told to you, it is going to cover history, geography, political science, economics, sociology, psychology, anthropology, and many all other subjects also. That's why we can say that social science is comprehensive in nature. Understand? Which is going to cover many other, which have more scope. That's why we can say that social science is comprehensive in nature. And it gives importance to value attainment. The main purpose of teaching, I think someone's audio is on. Please mute. Any one of you, I think audio has not mute. Mute yourself. Each one of you, mute yourself. Okay. So,
ଆମର ଏଇ ଥିଙ୍ଗ ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ମ୍ୟାମ୍
କଣ କହିଲା?
ସାର୍ ଆମର ଆଜି 142 ଏଇ କ୍ଲାସରେ ହଉଛି ତି ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ର ଏଇ କ୍ଲାସ
ସେଟା ତ
ହଉଛି
କହିପାରିବିନି, ଏଟା social science। କଣ?
ହଁ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ କ୍ଲାସ ହଉଛି ବା, ଆପଣ ଜାଣିପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି?
ହଁ ମୁଁ ନାଇଁ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ର ମୁଁ କହିଲି ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ମାନେ ଲିଙ୍କ ଟା ବହୁତ ଦିନ ହବ ଆସି ନଥିଲା ତ। ହଉ
ଏଇଟା
ନାଇଁ
social
ଆପଣଙ୍କ
science
ମେଲ କୁ
pedagogy
ଯାଇଥିବ।
class।
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ଆଜିକା ଡେଟରେ 14 ତାରିଖରେ ଆଜି ଥିଲା
ହଁ ସେ
142
ଆଜିକା
ଥିଲା ବା।
ଡେଟରେ ବି ଇଏ କୋଉ ମୁଁ ସେଇ ଲିଙ୍କ ନଥିଲା ତ ପଚାରୁଛି। ହଉ
এটা সোশ্যাল সায়েন্স ক্লাস ହିଁ ଚାଲିଛି। ତମର সোশ্যাল ସାଇନ୍ସ ପେଡାଗୋଜି ଅଛି କି?
ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ର ମାନେ ତ ପେଡାଗୋଜି ଗୋଟେ ବହି ତ ଆସିଛି, ଆଉଟା ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ବହି କିନ୍ତୁ ପେଡାଗୋଜି ଆଉ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ଆସିଛି।
ହଁ ସେଇଟା ହିଁ ସେ ତାର କ୍ଲାସ ହିଁ ଚାଲିଛି।
ସେଇଟା ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ସେଇଟା ପେଡାଗୋଜି ଅଫ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ସେଇଟା
ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ର କ୍ଲାସ ହିଁ
BES-142।
ଚାଲିଛି।
ଆମର ତ ଅଲଗା ବହି ହିଁ କିଛି ଆଉ ଆସିନି, ଗୋଟେ ବହି କଣ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ର ଆସିଛି।
ସେ ଗୋଟେ ସେଇ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ, ତମେ ତମର ରିଜନାଲ ସେଣ୍ଟର ସହିତ କଥା ହବ, ଆମେ ଜାଣିନୁ ସେ ବିଷୟରେ ହେଲା, ଆମେ ବି କ୍ଲାସ ବିଷୟରେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିବୁ।
ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ରେ କେତେଟା ବହି? ମୋର ଭଲ୍ୟୁମ 1 ଭଲ୍ୟୁମ 2 ଦିଟା ଆସିଛି। ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ରେ
ଆମର
କେତେଟା ବହି?
ଦିଟା ବହି।
ଚାରିଟା ବହି ଅଛି,
ଦିଟା ବହି
ବ୍ଲକ
ଦିଟା ବହି
1 ବ୍ଲକ
ଦିଟା ବୁକ୍
ସାର୍ କେତେ ୟୁନିଟ୍
ଦିଟା
ଅଛି
ବ୍ଲକ
ଦେଖିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, କେତେଟା ବ୍ଲକ ଅଛି ଦେଖିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, ସେଥିରେ ଜଣା ପଡିଯିବ। ଦିଟା ବହିରେ ହିଁ ଆସୁଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ମୋର ତ ବହି ଏଯାଏଁ ହିଁ ଆସିନି।
ବହି ଆସିଛି ଦିଟା 142 ରେ।
ଚାରିଟା ବ୍ଲକ ଅଛି ବା ମ୍ୟାମ୍ କହିଲେ।
ଚାରିଟା ବ୍ଲକ ଅଛି, ଚାରିଟା ବ୍ଲକ ଅଛି
ୟୁନିଟ୍
ବହି, କିନ୍ତୁ ମେ ବି ତମର ଦିଟା ବ୍ଲକ ଯଦି କମ୍ବାଇନ ହେଇକି ଥିବ ମୁଁ କହିପାରିବିନି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଚାରିଟା ବହି, ଚାରିଟା ବ୍ଲକ ଅଛି।
ୟୁନିଟ୍ 17 ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଅଛି।
ମାନେ
ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ବହି ଦିଟା ଆସିଛି।
ହୁଁ ଏବେ କରିଦେଇଛି, ଦିଟା ବ୍ଲକ କରିଦେଇଛି, ଏମିତି ଭଲ୍ୟୁମ ଦିଟା ଆଉ।
ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଯୋଉ ଭଲ ମାନେ ୟୁନିଟ୍ 1 ରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଇକି 17 ଯାକେ ଅଛି ୟୁନିଟ୍।
ହଁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା, ବ୍ଲକ 4ଟା ଟୋଟାଲି।
ଚାରିଟା ବ୍ଲକ ଅଛି ଟୋଟାଲ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ମ୍ୟାମ୍,
ଏଇଟା
ବହି
ଆଜି ୟୁନିଟ୍
ଆସିନି।
1, ଏଇଟା ତମର ଆଜି ବ୍ଲକ 1 ଅଛି। ୟୁନିଟ୍ 1 ରୁ ୟୁନିଟ୍ 5 ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆମକୁ ଆଜି ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିବାର ଅଛି 2 ଘଣ୍ଟା ଭିତରେ, ହେଲା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଓକେ, ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସନ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା।
ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ର କ୍ଲାସ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ତାର କୌଣସି ପିପିଟି ଆମକୁ ମିଳିପାରିବ କି?
ହଁ, କ୍ଲାସ ସରିଲା ପରେ ମୁଁ ଆମର ରିଜନାଲ ସେଣ୍ଟର ସହିତ ସେୟାର କରିଦେବି ପିପିଟି।
ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ଟିକେ ଦେବେ, କାହିଁକି ନା ବହି ହିଁ ଟୋଟାଲି ମାନେ ଏପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ପରୀକ୍ଷା
ମ୍ୟାମ୍
15 ଦିନ ବହି କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ କାହାକୁ ଆସିନି।
ଓକେ, ଠିକ ଅଛି, ସେ ବିଷୟରେ ଆମେ ପରେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିବା, ହେଲା। ଆଗ ଆମେ କ୍ଲାସ ତମେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଶୁଣ, କ୍ଲାସ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିଦବା। ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଟପିକ ଗୁଡା କଣ ଅଛି ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିଦବା, ତାପରେ ପିପିଟି ପାଇବୁ ତମେ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
So now we are going to discuss regarding the nature of social science. Okay, so it is concerned with human relationship. It studies the social issues. It is comprehensive in nature, and it gives importance to value attainment. The main purpose of teaching social science at school level is to develop the different type of values among our children. Okay, and how we are going to teach develop the values? By teaching different social studies contents. There is a hidden value of teaching any social science content to our children. So as a social science teacher, we must focus on that, how the value attainment must be achieved by our children. And we can say that social science is also interdisciplinary in nature. Interdisciplinary means it is related with all other subjects. At the time of teaching social science, we must relate it with other subjects so that it will be more interesting and students will understand it easily. Okay? And it facilitates multiple thinking. Studying social science, already from the very beginning I told to you, studying social science, the main objective is to develop the critical thinking, to develop the problem solving ability, and to develop the adjustment quality among our children and multiple thinking among our children. Because by teaching social science, we want our children must be able to live in the society or to lead a good life in the society. So that is the main purpose of teaching social science. So for that purpose, the nature of social science, we can say that to develop or to facilitate the multiple thinking. Yes. Next we will come. What are the different contexts are there? And what are the contexts we must give importance at the time of teaching social science? So you will see that different contexts are there, why we are going to teach social science. But the main purpose is that already one of you have mentioned that by teaching social science, we want to transfer or we want to inculcate our social values, our cultural values, our tradition. So for that purpose, at the time of teaching social science, we must give importance on the socio-cultural context. It means we know that school is a miniature society. In the school, there are the children from the different society. And as we know in our country, India also, our culture is going to change in every 50 kilometer. And we are there from the different society, different family background, and every family has certain culture, certain beliefs, certain thoughts. So at the time of teaching social science, as a social science teacher, we must be very careful to deal the social issues, cultural beliefs, and we must make a balance between all those things at the time of teaching social science. So we must discuss the social science from socio-cultural point of view. And another is the learner context. Learner context, what? Every learner is unique in nature. Okay, every child is unique. Every child has some potentiality and some unique ability. So at the time of teaching social science, we must think that how the teaching of this subject is going to help the child to lead the life or to develop the different abilities among the learner. So for that purpose, learner is a very important context at the time of teaching social science. Then context of change. Context of change means, as we know, everything is, nothing is permanent in this world. Everything is going to change. No doubt, we know that we have our beliefs and thoughts and culture. But still, every, अरे म्यूट करे तुम मानकु तमरो वॉइस मते डिस्टर्ब करूची किए कथा होचो म्यूट करो okay. So context of social science, as we know, change is also a permanent phenomenon. Nothing is permanent in this world. Everything, every moment there are certain changes in the society also. So at the time of teaching social science, we also must take into consideration what are the new things, new changes occur in the field. So from that point of view, we should deal the teaching of social science. And another is the development of education. That is the main objective, how we should take into consideration the development of education at the time of teaching social science. So these are the 4 important contexts what must be focused by the social studies teacher at the time of teaching social science. बुझी पारलो समस्ते एटा context of social science कोन एबे पर्यंत हमें जहाँ डिस्कशन कले समस्ते बुझी पारलो नेचर ऑफ सोशल साइंस कोन context of social science कोन
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will
Yes,
proceed
ma'am.
forward.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, ठीक अछि. So next time we discussion करिया what are the different concerns of social science. Okay, the main concern of social science is to maintain the balance between mainstream knowledge and local knowledge. As already I told to you now, children belongs to different subcategory of the society. Okay, and so as we know, the book is one, the curriculum is one for all, the content is same for all, but we know that our children are not the same. They belongs to different socio-cultural background, they belongs to different cluster of the society. So as a teacher, we must make it concern that how we can make the balance between the local context knowledge and whatever mentioned in our curriculum, or we can say the mainstream knowledge. So we must make a balance between these two. The children must not think that social science is only the book's knowledge. They must relate it to their practical life, to their local context, so that they will able to understand it, and it will help them to develop the social attitudes among the children. So as a social science teacher, we must maintain the balance between these two things. Okay? And another is to shift from subject-based approach to concept attainment. Concept attainment is the main important thing what we must take into consideration at the time of teaching social science. Which content we are going to, which concept we are going to teach, every child must be able to understand the concept, not only for the purpose of securing marks or to get the certificates. Social science is not that, social science is, the main purpose of social science is to develop the social behavior among the children and to make them fit for the society. So we must take into consideration that every concept, what we are going to teach in our classroom at the time of teaching social science, the children must attain those concepts. Okay. Next, we will discuss about aims and objectives of teaching social science. What are the main objectives of teaching social science? As I already told, social science is going to include the different subjects. It's like history, political science, economics, and geography. But still, there is certain common objective at the time of teaching social science. The first thing is that to create the civilized citizens. As we know, are you able to understand what is civic sense? Are you able to understand what is civic sense? किए मते कहि परिबो? Just briefly, what do you mean by civic sense? Our main objective of teaching social science is to develop the civic attitude or to make them civilized, to make our children more civilized. तो एटा माने तुम माने कोन बुझुछ? ये बुझी पारछो किछि? Are you able to audible?
Yes, ma'am. ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ସମାଜ ସହିତ ନିଜକୁ ଖାପ ଖୁଆଇ ଚଳିବା
अच्छा, आउ के कहिबो? Civilized mean every child must love. हाँ, कुओ
मैम समाजर नीति नियम नॉर्म्स जेतिकु पालिबा आउ इन फ्यूचर रे कोन केमिति करा जिवो तार से जो रूल रेगुलेशन को इत्यादि को हमें सिविलाइज कोन तो
very good, very good. Civilized mean that every child must learn that there are, because we know in our society there are certain rules, certain regulations. Every child must aware about all those things, must know how as a city, as a part and parcel of the society, I have to obey these rules and regulations. Okay, then the person is called as the civilized one. Okay, so we have certain norms, certain rules, and every person who belongs to the society must be aware about all those things. The person who are aware about all those things and also must obey all those things, those are called as the civilized persons. Okay, so main purpose of teaching social science at school level is to create the civilized citizens. Okay, and as we know that we are living in a democratic country. What do you mean by democratic? Mostly people understand that democracy means it is a form of government. Is it?
Yes.
It is only a form of government? What is the meaning of the word democracy? Democracy exactly means that every individual in the society, or if it is a home or it is a classroom or it is a society or anywhere, everyone has the equal rights. Everyone is able to enjoy their all rights, and everyone has the freedom to speak, to live, and to raise the voice, or to for everything, for any rights. Then it is called as the democratic in nature. Every individual feels safe in the society. Every individual has the equal rights for all type of facilities. Then the society is called as the democratic. So like this, as we know that we are living in a democratic country, we must feel that the democratic attitude must develop among our children. And classroom, to develop the democratic attitude among our children, our classroom must first of all must be democratic in nature. It must not be autocratic. Autocratic means where one individual dominate others, that is called as autocracy. So mostly we'll see our Indian classrooms are autocratic in nature. It is dominated by the teacher, and students are bound to listen. So it should not be like that. If you want really to develop the democratic attitude among our children, our classroom must be first of all democratic in nature. It means the teacher must give equal opportunity to all the children. Wherever they are unable to understand, they can ask, they can clear their doubt. Everyone has the right to speak. They are not squeezed. They have the freedom. They can ask anything. They can discuss freely with the teachers. Then we can say that the classroom is democratic in nature. So our purpose of teaching social science is to make our citizens more democratic in nature. So for that purpose, it must start from the classroom. The democratic attitude must be there in a family also. Mostly we'll see families also dominated by the one individual who is going to manage the family. It should not be. Every individual in the family must feel free, must feel safe, and must have the equal rights for each and every facility. So for that purpose, at the time of teaching social science, we must take into consideration from those practical point of view, not only to teach the theory of democracy only. We must practice it in our classroom, in our family, in our society, so that only we can able to create the democratic citizens. Understand? Are you able to understand what I mean by democracy?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Aims and objectives of teaching social science is, another is to understand the society. Already we have discussed about it. To understand the multiple culture, as I already told to you, India is a land of culture. We have different culture. So social science responsibility, teaching of social science responsibility is that our children must know about all culture, must give equal respect to all other culture, and there must not be any conflict between culture and culture. They must, they may live in one culture, but they must learn to give respect to other culture. And another is to work for society. Every child must feel that I am a part of the society. I have certain responsibility for the society, and we all must together work for peace. The concept of peace must be understood by our children. Okay, and they must accept. We must accept the social change, as we know that change is a permanent phenomenon. Nothing is permanent in this world, but change is permanent in the world. Okay, every moment in every sphere there are certain changes. So as an individual, we must not be rigid. We must be flexible to accept the changes. So that attitude must be developed among our children. Our children must understand that according to time there must be change in the society, and as a part of the society we must accept all those changes uh, for the benefit of the society. Okay, and to understand the rules of the state means here the government or the state or the center, the rules regulations of the society by imposed by the state or the center, or to become an active member of the society, not only to live passively in the society, but to work as an active member. Everyone feel that I am an active member of the society. I have certain responsibility for the society. The life is not only to live for myself. As a part and parcel of the society, I have certain responsibility for the society. So these are the main sensitive issues. As a social studies teacher, we must develop all those things among our children. So that is the main objectives of teaching social science at school stage. Yes. And how the social science is there in the different stages of our education, in our education system, I have mentioned in this slide. As we know, from class 1 to 5th at the primary stage, social studies, social science is going to teach in the name of the environmental studies. It means social science is going to cover mostly the topics related to our environment. Okay, and when we will come to the elementary stage from class 6 to up to 8, there the social science is divided into, as a social study, it is divided into different groups like history, geography, and social political life. Economics is not there till up to the 8th class level, but at the secondary stage in 9th and 10th, the social science is going to cover the 4 subject, and economics is more added to it. Okay, and in the higher secondary stage, As we know, it is as a specialization. The students who prefer to study the art, they can take the different subjects from the social science like history, political science, and at the higher level also as the honors history, political science, and economics. Like this, social studies is going to cover in our system of education at the different level. Now we will come, what is the relationship of social science with other subject? Is there any relation of social science with other subject? କିଛି relation ଅଛି social science ର ଅଲଗା subject ସହିତ?
Yes, ma'am. All are linked.
There is a link. Can anyone
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
to me how language is related to social science? Without knowing the language, can we read social science?
No, ma'am.
Now we
No,
are
ma'am.
interacting here. Now we are
First, all language, ma'am.
yes.
All are
Language
linked.
is
All the
yes,
subject.
language is essential for teaching in all the subjects. So first of all, without understanding the language, a particular language, we cannot communicate with the regarding any other subjects. Okay, so language is related to all the subjects, so it is also related to social science. Like social science and science is also related. As we know, social science is the science of society, and science is the real science, or we can say the pure science. So science and social science is also related to each other. Okay, କାହିଁକି ନା ଆମର total life ରେ science को ignore करके हमें life बंची परिवा की? Every moment there are the certain concepts of science on the basis of which we are leading our life. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So science
Yes, ma'am.
science को ignore करके हमें हमारा life केबे भी society रे lead करी परिवा नहीं. तो social science को मध्य पढ़ेला बेले हमें ताको science सहित interlink करके पढ़ेबा निहाती दरकार. जेमते हम कहले environment is a part of social science. Environment is science. So it is related to each other. Like that, every social science concepts is related to social science concepts. So it has a relation. So like the social science and mathematics is also related to each other. Without understanding the mathematical concepts, it's very difficult to teach the social science. Are you agree? Mathematics
Yes, ma'am.
no बुझिला में social
Yes,
science
ma'am.
पढ़ी परिबेनी?
Yes.
काहेकि कि जणे जस्ट गोटे सांगे संगे गोटे एग्जांपल दे परिबो जे मैथमेटिकल कांसेप्ट बुझिबा निहात दरकार सोशल साइंस पढ़िबा पय.
मैडम आमे हिस्ट्री जेतले पढांती
Like longitude, attitude.
मैडम अक्षांश विज्ञान पढिला बेले
Yes.
चित्र अध्ययन पढिला बेले हम दिग हो कि
Okay, okay. So as you all know that many mathematical concepts we are need to understand at the time of reading the social science. Otherwise, we cannot understand social science. Okay, as we know that temperature, and we know that measurement, and as we know the latitude and longitude, all these concepts, map reading, all these are the mathematical concepts. Okay, and the distance between one place to other place, all these measurement issues, all the mathematical concepts. So without understanding the mathematical concepts also, we cannot understand the social science. So it is related to mathematics also. As like this, social science is related to arts and aesthetics. Social science is related to SQPW. Okay, so as overall we can say it is a subject, it is related to all other subjects. So understanding the concepts of the different other subject is also going to help us to read the social science. Next we will come the important aspects, approach to teach social science. What are the different approaches are there by help of which we can teach social science to our children? So there are the different approaches. Here it is mentioned, and it is there in your module also, it is there. So these approaches are disciplinary approach, which is also known as the traditional approach. And another is the interdisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary approach, thematic approach, inductive deductive approach, and constructivist approach. These are the approaches which are mostly used at the time of teaching social science. The disciplinary approach is called as the traditional approach. Traditional approach means according to the specialization, as a teacher, we are going to deliver the lecture and our children are going to read and they are going to understand. So this is called as a traditional approach of teaching social science. But interdisciplinary approach, when we are going to teach any one discipline from social science, we are going to make it interlinked with all other subjects. Okay. So it is called as the interdiscipline. It means we are making the relationship with another discipline and we are teaching the subject. Then it is called as an interdisciplinary approach. Multidisciplinary. One content from different point of view. Okay. Then it is called as the multidisciplinary. Are you able to understand the difference between interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Interdisciplinary means one discipline, we try to make it a relation with all other disciplines. Then it is called as the interdiscipline. But multidisciplinary means one content, but from different point of view. Okay. Suppose take example, we are going to teach the earth, about earth. We are making to make the earth from science, from social science, or we can make it to read the regarding the different language point of view regarding the earth. So then it can be called as the multidisciplinary. Understand? So interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary mostly looks like same, but there is a difference. And another is the thematic approach. Thematic approach means on the basis of the theme we are going to teach. So theme play a very important role at the time of teaching. So on the basis of that, if you are going to teach, then it is called as the thematic approach. And most popular approach is that inductive and deductive approach. I think all of you understand what is inductive and deductive approach. Huh?
What is mean by thematic?
Theme, on the basis of the theme. Theme को base करिकी जेतेबेले आमे गोटे approach को use करू, then it is called as the thematic approach. Theme plays a very important role for teaching a concept. Then it is called as a thematic approach. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
we discuss inductive and deductive approach. It is a very popular approach. Inductive approach means we will move by giving specific example to certain generalization. Then it is called as a inductive approach. But when from a generalization we go for a specific example, then it is called as a deductive approach. I think you understand inductive deductive approach in all other subjects also. बुझिଛ किछि inductive deductive approach कोन?
Yes,
Huh?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, आमे different example नबा, example to जो जहाँ में generalize करिबा, ताको base करके आमे गोटे rule तैयारी करिबा. Then it is called as a inductive approach. किंतु प्रथमे आमे rule टा पढ़िबा, से rule टा को different context रे different example रे solve करिबा. Then it is called as a deductive approach. And both are used parallelly. Inductive deductive approach is a mostly important approach for teaching mathematics. Okay. And it is also used for teaching social science also. Yes. So this is an important approach also for teaching social science. And last, the sixth one is the constructivist approach. Constructivist approach is a new approach which is based on the philosophy of constructivism. Okay. So constructivism means what? The teacher will not teach everything to the children. The students will read and they will learn according to their own space, but the teacher will facilitate them. So more freedom will be given to the children to discover, to create, and to learn themselves. And the role of the teacher only is to provide the help to the students when it is essential. And that approach is called as the constructivist approach. And it is now a modern approach. It is called as a modern approach. And on this approach, we feel that child learn more than all other the traditional approach. Understand what is constructivist approach? तमरा learning paper रे भी पढ़ी थिबो तमे भलरे पढा हेतिबो बते लर्निंग टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग जो पेपर थिबो सेतरे कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट अप्रोच थिबो हम सेतरे बहुत डिटेल पढी थिबो ओके हमर तो बे टाइम नै हमें पूरा ए सब गुडा को डिटेल पढिया पई हम बहुत गुडा हमर जस्ट यूनिट 1 सरला हमको आउरी चारटा यूनिट डिस्कशन करियार अछि ओके so now we will move to the second unit and this unit is about issues and challenges of teaching social science till now hame unit 1 रे जहा डिस्कशन कले सेटा थिला हमर नेचर concern, context, aims and objective, relation with other subject, and what are the different approaches. Okay. Now in the second unit, we will discuss about issues and challenges of teaching social science. जैसे हमें social science पढ़ौचे
मैम आपण एटा कोउटु पढौचंती आपण पीडीएफ नीचे रखिचंती
कोन
एटा कोउटु पढौचंती पीडीएफ नीचे रखिचंती
No, I have prepared this PPT myself. I have prepared according to your module. I have prepared the PPT. This is not PDF. It is PPT.
मैम पीपीटी टिके देबे कने क्लास हमको भी तांको देइचंती ना आपनकर कोन भूल अछि आसी क्लास देइचंती जल्दी जल्दी टिके आपण सरौचंती त टे आपण हमको टे पीपीटी शेयर करिवे
हाँ तमर तो 2 आवर्स अछि तमर गोटे मॉड्यूल सरेवा पई सो 2 घंटा भीतर तो सब टॉपिक तो कवर करबा संभव नुह ओके ए 2 घंटा भीतर तमर यूनिट 1 मॉड्यूल टा पूरा सरीबा ब्लॉक 1 मॉड्यूल टा पूरा सरीबार अछि तो सब तो डिस्कशन हे परिबोनी दैट्स व्हाई तमर तो एटा इंटरैक्टिव क्लास केवल तमर डाउट क्लियर करबा କଥା एक्चुअली त माने पढी के आसी डाउट पचारले करबा କଥା सब कंटेंट तो पढे हे परिबोनी पीपीटी यू विल गेट
मैडम
whatever I have prepared the PPT everything is there in your module okay everything is from your module only like preferring your module only I have prepared all this PPT nothing is outside everything is mentioned in your module also okay so we will start the second unit
माने सुनिबा पई किछि सिस्टम अछि कि
सेटा मु जानि नि जदि रेकॉर्डिंग थिपो ताले तमरो ओरिजिनल सेंटर बोदे शेयर करि परिबे मु पखरे सेंति किछि नाही
ଟିକେ ଅଲଗା କେହି ଟିକେ କହିବେ କ୍ଲାସ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଟାଇମ
यूट्यूब रे ऑलरेडी प्रीवियस क्लास रो रेकॉर्डिंग अछि मोर जोटा आगरु मु नेइतली से क्लास रो भी रेकॉर्डिंग गुडा अछि यूट्यूब रे
आज्ञा मैं अपन टिके
हमरो
नंबर दे
टाइम बहुत कम अछि हमें ए सब विषय पर डिस्कशन करबा आको कंटेंट गुडा को डिस्कशन करबा ओके
आज्ञा
so unit 2 is about the issues and challenges of teaching social science so प्रथमे हमें जानिबा दरकार जे टीचिंग what are the main issues are there in teaching social science okay as we know there are the 5 guide have you any idea regarding the national curriculum framework 2005
Yes, ma'am.
yes
We know about
this
it.
national curriculum framework 2005 has given importance on 5 guiding principles okay 5 important principles is mentioned in that national curriculum framework and those 5 principles are connecting knowledge to outside world the national curriculum framework emphasizes that teacher at the time of teaching inside the classroom must relate whatever is going to teach inside the classroom must relate to the world practical world or outside the world okay shifting focus from rote learning whatever the traditional thing is going on that our every teaching and learning is only the rote memorization the teacher must be away from that and must give the importance on practical teaching or practical learning and that our curriculum no doubt is there we have to complete and we have to move according to the curriculum we have the textbook we have to complete the textbook but that does not mean that we cannot move outside the textbook whatever is there the textbook we will teach but by making it relate to the practical world or we have to teach many more things to our children what is not mentioned in our textbook okay and another principle is that making evaluation monitoring more flexible and integrated to classroom work. It means our evaluation that there must be change in our evaluation system. The national curriculum framework has given more focus how to bring the change in the evaluation system. And another is nurturing and overriding identity informed by caring concerns within the democratic quality of the country. Okay. So these are the 5 principles which is mostly focused by NCA 2005. And for that purpose, as we are going to discuss regarding the issues and challenges, we will first discuss from the textbook point of view. As we know, we have a specific curriculum. We have the specific textbooks. We have to teach our children according to our textbook, no doubt. But what is the role of the textbook? As a teacher, we must know what we must teach from our textbook, and how we also must have to teach many more things what is not mentioned in our textbook. No doubt we know that textbooks plays a very important role as a source material, but it is a necessary, but it is not sufficient. Whatever is there in the textbook, it is not sufficient. The teacher must prepare many more things what is not going to cover in the textbook. Teacher has to cite many examples what is not mentioned in the textbook. No doubt textbook is very important, we have to follow it, but as a teacher, and mostly as a social studies teacher, we must know what we have to teach beyond the textbook. That is the more important thing also, which is emphasized in the national curriculum framework. Okay. And textbook is a very good teaching aid for the teacher, but the teacher must not confine within it. The teacher must know with the textbook how other reference book, what are the other reference materials that teacher has to take to the class, and have to give the exposure to the children, so that the children can also go beyond the text. Next, another challenge is that we have many classroom problems. Inside the classroom, certain problems are there, and as a teacher, we are aware about it. So to solve all those certain classroom problems, mostly teachers used to do the action research. Have you listened this word action research? Action research कौन? किसी आ विषय तमनकर किसी idea अछि कि?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, very good. तो ताहले हमें एटाको जस्ट हमें अल्प डिस्कशन करके हमें आगु को जाई परिबा. तो एक्शन रिसर्च एठी तमर जो मेंशन हेची कहिबार ये होची जे क्लासरूम प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करिबा पई हमें मोस्टली टीचर माने बहुत समय रे एक्शन रिसर्च करिताउ हैला. तो एक्शन रिसर्च जो हमें करू ता पे हमर डिफरेंट स्टेप्स अछि हैला. कोन कोन स्टेप्स को हमें प्रथमे फॉलो करिबा दरकार. हमें एक्शन रिसर्च केमिति करिबा दरकार. मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ कंडक्टिंग द क्लासरूम इज टू सॉल्व द क्लासरूम प्रॉब्लम्स. यस, and those are the research which cannot be generalized to any other. Action research रो अर्थ होची ए एक्शन रिसर्च करी के हमें जो फाइंडिंग्स पाइबा हमें ताको अलगा कोनोसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट रे यूज करी परिबा नाही. किंतु एक्शन रिसर्च करिवार हमर पर्पस होची क्लासरूम रे फेस करूथुवा प्रॉब्लम को केमिति सॉल्व कराबो सेही कॉन्टेक्स्ट रे हमें सेहिति पई हमें एक्शन रिसर्च कंडक्ट करू. तो एक्शन रिसर्च रो कोन कोन मुख्य स्टेप्स अछि. हमकु एक्शन रिसर्च करिया पूर्व हमकु कोन फॉलो करिया को पड़ी. First step is developing a focus on the problem. Okay, developing a focus on the problem. Classroom रे कौन problem अछि हमें प्रथमे action research करिया कोले हमकु प्रथमे गोटे problem को identify करिया को पड़ी. समस्त जानि छै विषय रे. ताहि हम ऑलरेडी आगु कहूची जे action research होची classroom problem को solve करिया. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So first is that identification of a problem. Okay, then next jodi problem amara identify, then we will go for the analyzing the problem. Why the problem have arisen, what are the main cause of the problem. Okay, we will analyze and we will find out the probable cause. Why it is there, we will find out the cause. Then we can plan how we can take out all those problems, and for that purpose what the intervention or the what the treatment I has to give, so that problem will not be there. So for that purpose we have to plan for intervention. Intervention अर्थ होचे एटे ट्रीटमेंट. मोर जदी क्लासरूम रे किछि प्रॉब्लम अछि से प्रॉब्लम को मते कोन करले मोर प्रॉब्लम गुडा को इरेडिकेट हे परिबो हैला. सो फॉर दैट purpose we mostly plan for the intervention. आ सबु बेले एक्शन रिसर्च करिया पूर्वरु आमे जेतले इंटरवेंशन plays a very important role, we mostly conduct a test before conducting the action research, and that is called as the pre-test. And we will conduct a test after the intervention, and that is called as the post test. And mostly we compare the scores of pre-test and post-test. आमे pre-test रो post-test रो स्कोर को आमे कोन करू कंपेयर करू ताहले आमे जानि परिबा जे व्हाट इज द इंपैक्ट ऑफ द इंटरवेंशन मु जो ट्रीटमेंट देली तार कोन इंपैक्ट पडिला प्रॉब्लम ता हमर केते दूर हमर आमे किछि भी सॉल्व करिया पाए सॉल्व करि पारले से विषय रे आमे जानि परिबा ओके so for that purpose we mostly conduct the action research किछि action research विषय बुझि परलो कि ना जदि action research related किछि डाउट अछि पचारो आमे जस्ट क्लियर करियो तापर आगु को जिबा anyone किछि भी डाउट regarding action research you can ask
मैम इंटरवेंशन टिके कहंदो
इंटरवेंशन रो अर्थ होची ट्रीटमेंट माने सपोज देखो तमे जने मैथमेटिक्स टीचर कि सोशल साइंस टीचर तमे गोटे प्रॉब्लम को सोशल साइंस रो गोटे प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई करिचो ताकू तमरो एक्शन रिसर्च हिसाब रे नेचो सपोज क्लासरूम रे पिला माने मैप पॉइंटिंग मा मैप रीडिंग करि पारु ना हांती सेटा होची तमरो सोशल साइंस रो गोटे प्रॉब्लम एटा को तमे एक्शन रिसर्च हिसाब रे नेचो तो तमे आगरु देखिचो जे क्लासरूम रे को पिला केते पिला करि परचोंदी केते पिला करि परनोंती तापे गोटे तमे टेस्ट करिचो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द प्री टेस्ट हैला किंतु इंटरवेंशन कोन ना तमे मैप पॉइंट गुडा को तमे भलो भाबे क्लास रे पढेइलो हैला केमिति मैप पॉइंटिंग पिला माने भलो रे बुझी परिबे तापे तमे पांचटा क्लास नेलो हैला डायरेक्शन को नेकी गोटे क्लास कलो लोकेशन को नेकी गोटे क्लास कलो मैप पॉइंटिंग रे केमिति पिला माने एग्जैक्टली स्पेसिफिक लोकेशन जानि परिबे लैटिट्यूड लैंगिट्यूड को नेकी केमिति लोकेशन जानि परिबे तापे गोटे क्लास कलो से जो क्लास गुडा कहला तमरो इंटरवेंशन बुझी परलो सेटा को हमें को ट्रीटमेंट ए सब क्लास करि सरला परे फेर आउथरे तमे पिला मानन को गोटे टेस्ट कर दैट टेस्ट इज कॉल्ड एज द पोस्ट टेस्ट एंड यू हैव टू कंपेयर द स्कोर्स तमे जो पूर्वरु जो टेस्ट करी प्री टेस्ट रे जहा स्कोर पाइतिलो वर्तमान पोस्ट टेस्ट रे तांको स्कोर इंप्रूव हेइछि कि नाही जदि इंप्रूव हेइनी तार तो तमे जो क्लास कलो जो इंटरवेंशन देलो सेटा सक्सेसफुल हेइ नाही जदि हेइछि तमे जो डिफरेंट क्लास तांको देलो इंटरवेंशन देलो देन इट इज सक्सेसफुल एबे बुझी परलो
यस
मैम
मैम
इंटरवेंशन मींस स्ट्रेटजी
यस इंटरवेंशन मींस आमे एटी को ट्रीटमेंट बा स्ट्रेटजी जहा तमे कलो प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करिया पे जहा कलो सेटा होची तमारो इंटरवेंशन ट्रीटमेंट बोली कहू भी हमें इंटरवेंशन दा आउट वर्ड भी होची ट्रीटमेंट जेमि हमें कोन रोग जानिले तापर हम औषध देले तापर औषध देखले जे रोगटा भलो होला कि नै देन लाइक दैट ओनली इंटरवेंशन इज दैट स्ट्रेटजी कोन कलो जे तमरो तापर आउथरे इंप्रूव हेइची कि कमिची कि अधिका हेइची कि जहा भी तमे देखि कंपेयर करिवो ओके बुझी परलो
आज्ञा मैम
okay then we will move forward आउ कहर किछि डाउट अछि एक्शन रिसर्च रिलेटेड नहीं
एक्शन रो को माने कोउटा प्री टेस्ट रे माने प्री टेस्ट और पोस्ट टेस्ट रे जीवो
जी तमे जोटा प्रॉब्लम नै जे ताकू धरि के गोटे टेस्ट करिवो आगो तो सेटा को जो कहा जीवो प्री टेस्ट तापरे तमरो इंटरवेंशन देला परे जो टेस्ट करिवो ताकू कहा जो पोस्ट टेस्ट
आज्ञा
मैम हमर जो एक्शन रिसर्च लेखा हबो सेतिरे कोन अपेंडिक्स रहइबो हमें जो एक्शन रिसर्च टा एग्जाम रे लिखिबो कि असाइनमेंट रे दबो सेतिरे अपेंडिक्स रहइबो
निश्चय
मैम थैंक यू
so we will move forward we will discuss about the constructivist perspective okay कौन बुझुच ऑलरेडी मु तुमको कहली कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव कौन हमें कंस्ट्रक्टिविज्म कौन कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव कौन अलग लर्निंग क्लास रे भी पढ़ी थिवो 1 2 3 जो BES-142 पेपर रे तमे पढ़ी थिवो व्हाट इज कंस्ट्रक्टिविज्म पढ़िचो कंस्ट्रक्टिविज्म कौन समस्त बुझिचो अरे रेस्पोंड करो ताहले सिना जानिमी जो आमे एटा को भलो रे डिस्कशन करिया ना आगु को जिबा
हम आउथर डिस्कशन कर दियो
आउ थोड़ा डिस्कशन करिया
कंस्ट्रक्टिविज्म ऑलरेडी मु तुमको एटी जो कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट अप्रोच रे भी एबे कहिली constructivism is a new approach which focus that children will learn themselves on the basis of their own experience and own space and pace. And the teacher will play the role of a facilitator. It means that the main philosophy of constructivism is that we cannot teach anyone anything. केही काहाकू किछि भी पढ़ाई परिबो नाही जेते पर्यंत पढ़िथिबा लोकर निजर ओन इंटरेस्ट नाही. आर यू एग्री विथ मी? तमे एक कथरे
Yes.
राजी?
Yes, ma'am.
तमे जदि निजे न पढ़िबो ताहाले तुमको केही किछि पढ़ाई परिबे नाही. तमे जदि निजे न सिखिबो तुमको केबे केही किछि सिखै परिबो नाही. आमे जदि ओन इंटरेस्ट रे पढ़िबा then only we can learn anything. No one आमे जो कोछि सी मते पढ़ाई देबे मु ताठु पढ़ी परिबे. No, not like that. Just everything will be possible of the own interest. Constructivism give importance on that. So constructivism focus that the role of the teacher is not to teach but to create the interest among the children. Okay, the teacher रा काम होला पाठ पढ़ेबा नु पिल्लांको मध्ये रे पढ़िबा पई इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट करबा होची मेन काम. और जदि once the interest has created among the children, the child will learn himself and herself. Only the role of the teacher is to facilitate. Facilitate means child जोठी असुविधा face करूची, we will be there as a supporter. We will be there to provide the support. Okay, so here constructivism give focus that every child learn according to his own race and pace. Same teacher is going to teach to the 30 children, but all the 30 children are not going to study same in the classroom, isn't it? से एका टीचर तो 30 जन को पढ़ाती किंतु समस्त एका पढ़ंती की?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, काहे कि अलग करबे? काहे कि ना समस्तंकर हमर पढ़िबार समस्तंकर हमर सिखिबार निजर ओन इंटरेस्ट अलग थाए. ओके, तो जो थरे हमर इंटरेस्ट थाए आमे से जिंसटा को शीघ्र सिखि जाऊ. जो थरे सेथि पे मेन काम होची एठे कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट फिलॉसफी रो मुख्य काम होची टू क्रिएट द इंटरेस्ट and to give the meaningful learning to the children. जोटो आमे वर्तमान लर्निंग कहूचे जे बहिरु किछि पढ़ी दबा परीक्षा रे लेखि कि मार्क आनिबा, that is not as learning, that is not called as a learning. Okay, or rote memorization लेखि कि पढ़िबा घोषिबा, those are not called as learning. Okay, learning means which bring a permanent change within yourself, that is called as the learning. And real learning occur when the child has its own interest. Okay, and that's why constructivists give importance on meaningful learning, and the main purpose is to create the interest among the children and to find the relevance. To find the relevance means what is exactly required for the child to provide or to supply all those things to the children. So that is the constructivist perspective. And nowadays constructivism is a new philosophy which is mostly focused as a modern philosophy, and we now believe in that, and that's why it has given importance on activity based learning. सुनिचो वर्तमान आमे कहूचे जे पिला माने करी करी सिखिबे, आमे किछि सिखेबानी से निजे करी कि सिखिबे. Activity based learning. Okay, learning by doing, that is called as the constructivist perspective. एबे बुझी पारला समस्ते?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then another challenge in that teaching social science is inclusion. What do you mean by inclusion? Inclusion माने कौन बुझो? Inclusive education or inclusion? What do you mean by it?
All are included.
Everything means
Yes. As we know that we are living in the society where there are different diversity. Yes or no? And India is known for a land of diversity. The rate of diversity is much more in our country from every aspect. Suppose we can say from physical point of view, India is a land of diversity. आम देश एमितिया देश आम देश रे सबु प्रकार फिजिकल रीजन अछि. हमरो डेजर्ट अछि, हमरो कोस्टल एरिया अछि, हमरो प्लेट्यू अछि, हमरो माउंटेन अछि. We have the different type of physical regions. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
We have, from the language point of view also, we differ from each other. We have uh, only from parliament, according to the parliament, we have the 22, 23 language, but beyond that also many more languages are there. Okay, India is there, the language diversity is highest in our country. We differ in our language. Yes. And our country is a country which is having the diversity of religion. All the people, the people of the all religions are living in our country. Yes.
ଆହୁରି ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ଏମିତି ବି ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ଅଛି ଯୋଉଟା କି ଲିପି ନାହିଁ କିନ୍ତୁ
Yes,
ଫିର ବି
ma'am.
ଲୋକମାନେ
Yes,
କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା ବି
that
କରୁଛନ୍ତି।
only I'm going to tell. Not only the 22 language, 23 language, there are the more than 100 languages are there in our country. Okay, many languages are there which are only the spoken language, no scripts are there. Okay, so it's very difficult to teach in all language, because as we know that now right to education is going to tell that we have to provide the education to every child in their own language, but it is not possible in our country. It's very difficult to provide, because there are certain languages where there is no scripts, no books, no teachers. So how we can provide the education to every child in their own mother tongue? It's very difficult. So India is a language of having language diversity, physical diversity. We have the religion diversity, caste diversity, and culture. In India, in every 50 kilometer there is a culture. 50 किलोमीटर गले हमारा कल्चर चेंज हो जाए, हाँ कि नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have
Yes,
a
ma'am.
different culture. We have different physical region, and according to the sex, male and female, you have to take into consider that also the variation is also much more. As that we are living in mostly a male-dominating society. Female education nowadays it is not there. We are going to meet it. We are able to meet that inequality now. Nowadays, women are also given importance in the field of education. But the thing is that that also was a point of inequality, sex, male and female. Yes, like the different types of disability. As we know, the different, we all are not equal. We have the people of different disability. Some have physical problems, some have communication problem, some have behavioral problems, some have mental problem. So how to provide education to all those from without taking into consideration of all these inequality? Yes, how we can provide, include all in the education system is called as the inclusive education. बुझिपारलो? ए सबु diversity को थाई कि मध्य, how we can provide the education to all. Okay, so this is a very important challenge in our country to provide education. With having all such diversities, how we can provide the education to all, and how we can provide the equal facility to all in the field of education. That is a great challenge for our in our country to provide the education. So that is called as the inclusive education, and it is a very important issue in social science. Okay. Then next we will come for democratic classroom for social science. Already I told about this. What is democracy? What is democratic classroom? बुझी पारला समस्ते जो कहली कौन democratic classroom कौन? Democracy is not only a form of government. आम लोक मान जो पचार समस्ते कहे democracy is a form of government. Not like that. Democracy is an attitude. Okay, it must develop among each and every individual. आमे खाली कहूचे नाक मात्र को जे we are living in a democratic country, but we are mostly in many situations we are living in an autocratic situation. आमे जेमते family dominated by father, classroom dominated by teacher, or anywhere office dominated by authority. We are always squeezed. We have no rights. We are unable to express our views. So that cannot be called as a democratic attitude. So as a teacher, first of all, we must develop those things inside our classroom. Every child must understand what is democracy. Every child must feel responsible. Every child must know what is the distribution of power. Every child must live in a free environment. Every child must enjoy their learning. Okay, they must learn how to work in a group, how to lead a team, and how to work in a team. So these, if all those attitudes we can develop, then it can be called as a democratic classroom. बुझी परछो कोन कहली democratic classroom आ एटा social science teacher मानंगे as sensitive we must take into consideration. आमे डेमोक्रेटिक कहूचे किंतु पिलाटा जेतले किछि क्वेश्चन पचाचे आमे ताको सप्रेस कर दूचे ना 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 तू छोटो पिलाटा एते कथा पचारि करिवनी, you have no right so to ask like that, so that is not a democratic situation. Any doubt regarding these?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
ଏମିତି ବି କ୍ଲାସ ରେ ହୁଏ ଧର ପିଲାଟି ବାରମ୍ବାର କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ପଚାରେ ବି ଟିଚର ମାନେ ବି ଅଛନ୍ତି କହିକି ଏଇ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ରେ ଯୋଉ ପଚାରୁଛୁ ଗୋଟେ ତାର କିଛି ଅଥେଣ୍ଟିକ ନାହିଁ ମାନେ ସେ କହିବାର ଯୋଉ କ୍ୟୁରିଓସିଟି ଟା ଥାଏ ପୁରା ପୁରି ଛଡା ବନ୍ଦ ହେଇଯାଏ।
Yes, but we have to deal those situations very minutely. We have to deal this situation very sensitively. Okay, whatever the child is asking.
ସେ ପିଲାଟା କଣ ଜାଣିଛି କି କୋଉଟା authentic ଆଉ କୋଉଟା authentic ନୁହଁ ବା
actually what happened most of the time as a teacher we do not know what is the answer for the child, so for that purpose we deal with the child in such a way. जेतबेले पिला माने विभिन्न क्वेश्चन पचारନ୍ତି से क्वेश्चन आंसर टीचर को पाके नथाय तो सेथि पे सेमानको आमे सप्रेस
कर मो कथा कहूची मैम मु जेतले 9 क्लास रे थी तो मु प्रत्येक जेतले मैम बे पढांती मु मोर सबुथिरे मोर गोटे क्वेश्चन थिबो तो मु जेतले पचारे मैम मते कहले कि कोन सबुथिरे तोर एमिति कोन माने थे ना तू जो बळा पचारछु तो सेई दिन ठारू होय तो मोर क्वेश्चनिंग ता बहुत बंद हे गेछि बोले ना मु तो कोउडा तांको पई कोउडा पचारिबाटा सुटेबल कोडा नुह मु जानि पाइलिनी तर पचारे माइंड को आसले भी मु पचारेनी तो सेई जिंसडा
खाली गोटे सब्जेक्ट नो it's a problem in all other subjects and it is a real classroom situation. Okay, so these are the issues we must learn how to deal with as a teacher inside the classroom. Yeah. So another issue is that professional development of the teachers. And do you feel that there is need of professional development of the teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
Mostly our teachers think that I have already educated, I already got a job, so after getting that job there is no need of knowledge. For us the need of the knowledge is that till we get a job. Okay, but teachers mostly do not believe that we have to learn throughout the life. But real is that every individual must learn at every moment. Otherwise, we will be outdated. We will not fit for the society. So for that, there is need of professional development for the teachers. Not like that only that there is need of development or there is need of learning only for to get a job. But if you are there mostly in the teaching profession, every moment you have to learn, and every time you must think that you are going to add something learning to your repository. Okay, otherwise at any moment you will be outdated and you will be replaced by the others. So for that purpose there is need of continuous professional development for the teacher. And professional development, mostly teachers in our country mostly we divide into 3 types as the pre-service teacher, pre-service education, induction and in-service. Pre-service means, as you know, before entering to the profession there is need of a training that is called as the pre-service training, as your B.Ed course or your DLED course, whatever may be. Before entry to a profession, teaching profession, which course is required, that is called as the pre-service. And induction, when you get a new job, at that time also the training is given at the time of entering to a profession, that is called as the induction. But when you are there in the service also, at that time, according to time, there is change in there are new things arise and there are certain change, and the teacher has to up to date regarding all those things. At that time also we provide certain training to our teachers, and that is called as the in-service training. So by help of all these things, we want the professional development of our teachers. And as you know now, the new education policy 2020 has given emphasis that every teachers must go through of the 50 hours of the CPT program in a year. Janicho?
Ma'am, जो इंडक्शन टा टिके आउथरे कहिए कि माने प्री सर्विस टा तो
Induction
बुझे
means
लगे हम
ଯେତେବେଳେ
डीएलएडी
ଚାକିରି ପାଉଛ, ଚାକିରିରେ ଜଏନ କଲା ବେଳେ ଦେଖିବ, ନୂଆ ଚାକିରିରେ ଜଏନ କଲା ବେଳେ ପ୍ରଥମେ 10 ଦିନ 15 ଦିନ 21 ଦିନ ଗୋଟେ ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଦିଆଯାଏ ନୂଆ ଚାକିରିରେ ଜଏନ କଲା ବେଳେ। ସେ ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଟା ଦିଆଯାଏ ତାକୁ କୁହାଯାଏ ଇଣ୍ଡକ୍ସନ। ଓକେ,
ओके
ସବୁ ଚାକିରିରେ ଦିଆ ହେଇ ଦଉନାହାନ୍ତି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତମମାନେ ସେ ବିଷୟରେ ଆୱାର ନାହିଁ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଦେଖିବ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଓଏସ୍ ମାନେ ଓଇଏସ୍ ମାନେ ଚାକିରି ପାଆନ୍ତି, ଓଏସ୍ ମାନେ ପାଆନ୍ତି, ଆଡମିନିଷ୍ଟ୍ରେଟିଭ ସର୍ଭିସ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପାଆନ୍ତି, ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଆଗ 2 ମାସ 3 ମାସ ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଦିଆଯାଏ, ତାପରେ ପୋଷ୍ଟିଂ ଦିଆଯାଏ। ଚାକିରି ପାଇସାରିଲା ପରେ ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ରେନିଂ ଟା ଦିଆଯାଏ, ତାପରେ ପୋଷ୍ଟିଂ ଦିଆଯାଏ, ସେଟାକୁ କୁହାଯାଏ ଇଣ୍ଡକ୍ସନ ଟ୍ରେନିଂ।
मैम हमर भी दिया जाए जो हमें पाइला पर प्रारंभ ट्रेनिंग टा 15 दिनिया दिया जाए।
Yes, yes, yes. That is called as the induction training. Okay. Next, we will come to the continuous professional development. So, continuous professional development is now a necessity for every teacher. So, by being a part and parcel of the system, we must grow, we must know, and we must learn together. Then only our development can be possible. We must grow and allow others to grow and grow with others. That is the most essential. आमे बाबू जे केवल मु जानिबी, नो नॉट लाइक दैट। मु खाली जानिबी जदि मो पाखरे थिया लोक जानिनांदी ताले मोर जानिबार किछि वैल्यू रहिबो नाही। सो मु जानिबी, मो पाखरे थिया लोक मानको जणेबी, आ आमे समस्त मिसिकी माने काम करिबा, मिसिकी सिखिबा, ग्रो करिबा। That is the main important essential things. That attitude must be developed among us. Okay. So these are the mostly issues for the teaching, not only social science where we can tell, these are the mostly issues in our teaching field. Next, we will come to the teaching learning strategy. Teaching learning strategy विषय पढ़िचो को हेले पेपर रे किछि भी कोन
Yes,
strategy
ma'am.
माने कोन बुझुचो कोन कोन आसे strategy भितरे की जने कहिबो, then we will proceed.
How to process
5E model.
No, yes, 5B model is a strategy, but beyond that, many more strategies are there. As we know that in a teacher, there are the 3 questions arise in our mind. One thing is that what I will teach. The answer is content. Ko content mate padhevar achi. To whom I am going to teach. That answer is the children. Ko age ro pila manku mate padhevar achi. Kona subject mate padhevar achi. Then another is that how I will teach. What I will teach. To whom I am going to teach. And how I will teach. The answer of how I will teach is that selection of the learning strategy. मु content कौन पढ़ेबी जानिली, काहा को पढ़ेबी जानिली, किंतु सेटा को मु केमिति पढ़ेबी. So selection of a strategy or a method decide how I will teach. And there are many strategies are there. And mostly as a teacher, we select the strategy on the basis of our content. को content मते पढ़ेबार अछि, को बयसर पिला मानको मते पढ़ेबार अछि. On the basis of it, we select the different strategy. Okay. So for that purpose, different learning strategies are there, and those learning strategies are types of teaching learning strategies are lecture, demonstration, questioning, project work, field work, discussion, debate. शुनिच ए सब ना गुडा को स्ट्रेटेजी मेथड आमे मेथड भी कहू ना आमे तार मेथड भी कहू शुनिच ए सब विषय रे
Yes, ma'am.
आगे
yes ma'am
ए तो ताले मते को डिबेट सिम्पोजियम पैनल डिस्कशन ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग problem solving concept mapping these all are the teaching learning strategies mostly we use to teach the social science subjects ए सब strategy विषय रे तो जानि थिबो नियाती कोउथरे तमरो डाउट अछि कि तमे अधिक क्लैरिफिकेशन चाहुचो मते को काहे ना each and
ma'am जो
everything
symposium ma'am
Yes,
symposium panel discussion and a scrapbook ta
scrapbook okay ठीक अछि symposium होछि like the seminar ना सुनिचो
yes ma'am
yes whenever we want to teach one topic at that time what we do as a teacher we do not going to we assign that topic to the different group of students to prepare okay from the different point of view and we conduct the symposium and the students individually or in a group they will present what they have studied okay and other students will be play the role of the audience. And as a teacher, I will be there as a moderator. Okay. So then after the presentation of the different groups of the students, as a moderator, I will add on. And the students who are there in the audience, they will ask their questions to the students who have presented the topic. The students will answer, otherwise as a moderator, I will answer the questions. And that type of teaching learning is called as the symposium. सेमिनार जेमती कंडक्ट करा जाए सेमिति ही आमे पिला मानकु ग्रुप करिकि हो इंडिविजुअली हो से मानकु असाइन करिकि गोटे टॉपिक रो डिफरेंट डायमेंशन रो डिस्कशन करिबा पिला माने प्रेजेंट करिवे टीचर एज ए मॉडरेटर हिसाब रे सेठे ऐड ऑन करिवे दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द सिम्पोजियम यस अंडरस्टैंड
यस मैम महेश महेश कौन ताको ना से जेमती सेमिनार करिके कौन किसी प्रॉब्लम इश्यू करूचन को सॉर्ट आउट करूचन लोक मानकर लोक माने कहउचन ताको प्रॉब्लम से तांग बसी के कछ महेश संदीप मैम
संदीप महेश्वरी
हां संदीप महेश्वरी
ओके 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 नेक्स्ट इज दैट पैनल डिस्कशन तमे सब बेले देखि टीवी रे हमर दिए पैनल डिस्कशन न्यूज़ चैनल गुडा करे दिए पैनल डिस्कशन कोन ना व्हेनेवर देयर इज ए इश्यू देयर इज ए टॉपिक we mostly conduct the panel discussion करिया को हेला हमें डिफरेंट पैनलिस्ट मानन को डाकू से एरिया रे कहार अधिका नॉलेज अछि हमें सेमिति पैनलिस्ट मानन को डाकिबा ताको आगुरु हमें प्रॉब्लम क्वेश्चन देई देथिबा से माने डिफरेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट रे जार जो एरिया रे मास्टरी अछि से माने प्रिपेयर करिकि भी आस्थिबे देन they will present the different panel members they will present one member will be as a moderator they will ask the panelists to present and the students from the audience they will ask the different questions different queries and the discussion will be there and that is called as the panel discussion हमरो देखिबो न्यूज़ चैनल मानकरे पैनल डिस्कशन बहुत समय देता जेतबे किछ ओटे इश्यू थाए
जनमंच एवं वितर्क जो
कोन कहले
जनमंच आ वितर्क जो टीवी
ना
चैनल
जनमंचटा तो पैनल डिस्कशन नुवा किंतु प्रतिदिन ओ टीवी रे देखिबो 8:30 ना 8 रे गोटे दिए जो डिफरेंट स्पेशलिस्ट मन को डका जाई थाए गोटे जड़े मॉडरेटर हिसाब रे थिबो से तांको प्रेजेंट करिया को दोथो जो क्वेश्चन थिबो 12 से क्वेश्चन गुडा को पचारुथो पैनल लोक मन को से मान तांकर व्यूज दोथिबे से गुडा को कुआ जे पैनल आमे से मेथड टा को भी क्लासरूम रे भी यूज करि परिबा डिफरेंट इश्यू गुडा को पढेला बेले प्रॉब्लम गुडा को पढेला बेले पैनल डिस्कशन करि के पढै परिबा ओके बुझी परला
यस मैम
देन नेक्स्ट पचला कांसेप्ट मैपिंग ना कोन पचारथि
मैम कह देंगे कांसेप्ट मैपिंग एंड स्क्रैप बुक दुटा जगह
स्क्रैप बुक होची जो हमें डिफरेंट पिक्चर्स कलेक्ट करू ताको सिस्टमैटिक वे रे प्रेजेंट करू देन दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द स्क्रैप बुक माने जान जो गोटे पर्टिकुलर कंटेंट रे तार डिफरेंट डायमेंशन रे कोन अछि ताको पिक्टोरियल फॉर्म रे प्रेजेंट करिवा तार डिफरेंट कलेक्शन करिवा ताको सिस्टमैटिक वे रे प्रेजेंट करिवा दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द स्क्रैप बुक ओके अ कांसेप्ट मैपिंग है ना गोटे कांसेप्ट को हमें पढ़ाया को जोड़ा अछि मेन कांसेप्ट ता अंडर रे कोन सब कांसेप्ट्स आसुची सेही सब कांसेप्ट्स गुडा का पई तार पर्टिकुलर कॉन्टेक्स्ट रे एग्जांपल्स कोन अछि से कांसेप्ट को हमें अलगा सहित कोन रिलेट करी कि रिलेशन हमें कोन काढी करूचे ताको गोटे ग्राफिकल वे रे प्रेजेंट करी कि पढेबाटा को हमें कहू कांसेप्ट मैपिंग ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन जेमते हमें देखा हमें लिखले मो हमें पृथ्वी विषय रे पढेबार अछि किंतु पृथ्वी रा भौगोलिक अवस्थिति पढेबार अछि तार क्लाइमेट विषय रे पढेबार अछि तो हमें दीटा रहिला गोटे रहिला पृथ्वी टॉपिक रहिला ता अंडर रे रहिला दीटा भौगोलिक अवस्थिति और तार क्लाइमेट भौगोलिक अवस्थिति विषय हमें तार फिजिकल फीचर्स गुडा को लिखले ता अंडर रे कोन सब टॉपिक आछि सेमते क्लाइमेट रे कोन अछि तार सब टॉपिक लिखले आ सब टॉपिक रो कोन ताको हमें केमिति रिलेट करि परिबा सेतिर कोन एग्जांपल देई परिबा ताको मेंशन करिबा ए सब गोटे ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन करि के लिखिबाटा को हमें कहू कांसेप्ट मैपिंग दैट आल्सो कैन बी यूज्ड एज ए मेथड फॉर टीचिंग सोशल साइंस बुझी परला
यस मैम
ओके सो नेक्स्ट वी विल मूव टू टाइप्स ऑफ लर्निंग रिसोर्सेस हमें वर्तमान पर्यंत स्ट्रेटजी हां वो
यो सेमिनार और पेनाल डिस्कशन एटा गुड टिके अलगा अलगा ना सी सेमती मैडम
अलगा अलगा सेमिनार सिम्पोजियम एका रहिबो पैनल डिस्कशन अलगा सेमिनार रे कोन हुए पिला माने प्रिपेयर करके प्रेजेंट करंती सिम्पोजियम रे पिला माने प्रिपेयर करके प्रेजेंट करंती किंतु पैनल डिस्कशन रे कोन हुए हमें पैनलिस्ट मानन को डाकू बाहरु डाकिबा सेटा अलगा रहिबो
मैम तुमको क्वेश्चन आगुआ दिया जाय थे कि
पैनलिस्ट मानन को आगुर क्वेश्चन दिया जाय थे आगुर कहा जाय थे जे ए ऊपर डिस्कशन करा जिवो तो सेमाने भी प्रिपेयर करके आस्तंती ओ ऑल ऑफ ए सडन भी क्वेश्चन पचरा जाय ऑडियंस मानन को पचरा जाय क्वेश्चन
अच्छा ओके
okay okay we will move आगु को जिबा
Yes, madam.
what are the types of learning resources we can use at the time of teaching social science जोटा कि हमें को टीचिंग लर्निंग मटेरियल टीएलएम कौन टीएलएम हम यूज करि परिबा एट द टाइम ऑफ टीचिंग सोशल साइंस एज तमे जानि जे जेमति हमर आजकल 2 डायमेंशनल टीचिंग लर्निंग रिसोर्सेज 3 डायमेंशनल टीचिंग लर्निंग रिसोर्सेज ऑडियो रिसोर्सेज ओनली वीडियो रिसोर्सेज ऑडियो वीडियो रिसोर्सेज इंटरनेट ICT and many more things are there those things we can take the use at the time of teaching learning process okay आ विषय भाबुची बेसी तुमको दिन हम कहले रेलिया माने कोन रियल आइटम्स रिलिम्स भी हमें कहि परिबा जेतले हमें रियल थिंग्स क्लास नै कि जाऊ देन इट इज द बेस्ट थिंग माने कर मते सॉइल विषय रे पढि मते सॉइल रो चित्र न नै हमें विभिन्न प्रकार सॉइल को हमर लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट रे पाई परिबा जेमति हमर कळा माटी नाली माटी बाली माटी हमें डायरेक्ट सब प्रकार माटी नै कि पिलां क्लास रे दे कि से माने निजे छुईमे देखिबे जानि परिबे से विषय हमें पढै परिबा देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज रिलिम किंतु मते माटी जदी मु निजे न नै कि माटी रे खाली चित्र नै कि ओटे चार्ट तयारी करि कि नै देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज द चार्ट ओके सेमति मॉडल होची जोटा कि जेतले हमें रियल आइटम को क्लास को न नै पारुचे तार गोटे मॉडल तयारी करिक हम जेमति कहबा जे हम गोटे ताजमहल मते पढेबार अछि मु ताजमहल टाको रियल डायरेक्ट क्लास को नै परिबिनी मते ताजमहल गोटे थर्मोकोल रे तयारी करिक क्लास को नै जिबी तार ऑडियो म्यूट हेनी तमे म्यूट करो डिस्टरबेंस होची ऑडियो ऑन अछि कर
मैम डायग्राम ता
हां
really want a diagram ta really ta means real items कोले और diagram लिखा छी डी
डायग्राम
हाँ
diagram
तो हाँ diagram से दे
व्हाटएवर तमर मॉड्यूल रे कोन अछि मु तो मॉड्यूल देखि कि पढोरे थिबो जदी कोन मु करे देखिबी सेटा हैला जोटा कि रेलिया हमें कहूचे मॉडल्स कहूचे चार्ट्स कहूचे ग्राफ्स कहूचे
मैम DIORAMA
हां
स्पेलिंग टा को दछि DIORAMA लिखाइ छी
ओके सेटा देखिया मु नेक्स्ट क्लास रे देखिबी कोन अछि पढेबे काइना और बहुत कंटेंट अछि कोन मु जानि परमे तमे कोन पछारु छी हैला तमे पर मु नेक्स्ट क्लास काली की कहबा देखिबी मु सेतिर कोन अछि तमरो वी विल नाउ हमें आगु को जिबा काहे ना आधो घंटा टाइम अछि हमको और दुटा यूनिट अछि कंप्लीट करिवार तो ग्राफ्स मैप्स टाइमलाइन ICT a community itself is a teaching learning resource for the children for teaching the social science okay तो ए सब गुडा को हमें यूज करियो हमें टीचिंग लर्निंग रिसोर्स काहे कि यूज करू ना जेते बेले हमरो पाठ पढे हमें जेते पार्टी रे पढेले भी पिलांकर अंडरस्टैंडिंग को क्लियर करिया पई सेमान को आगे प्रैक्टिकल जिंसटा को देखेबा पई हमें तो देखैबा ताहाले तांकर अंडरस्टैंडिंग रे क्लैरिटी आसीबो सेमाने ताको सहज रे बुझी परिबे हमें जेते एक्सप्लेन करले जो जिंसटा पिला बुझी पारु नथवे किंतु गोटे चित्र देखिले गोटे मॉडल देखिले सेमाने इजीली बुझी परिबे सेटा होचे हमर रोल ऑफ टीचिंग लर्निंग रिसोर्सेज और सोशल साइंस रे टीचिंग लर्निंग रिसोर्सेज प्लेज अ वेरी इंपोर्टेंट रोल फॉर टीचिंग द सोशल साइंस ओके नेक्स्ट आसिला हमर यूनिट 4 एटा रे बहुत इंपोर्टेंट जिंस तमरे एटा डिस्कशन करिवार अछि प्लानिंग एंड ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीचिंग लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस आमे टीचिंग लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस को केमिति प्लान करूची जोटा कि हमर मुख्यतः आसुची एतरे तीन प्रकार प्लानिंग गोटे होची एनुअल प्लान गोटे होची यूनिट प्लान आ गोटे होची लेसन प्लान ए सब गुडा को जानिचो ए ना गुडा को सुनिचो मु जहा कहली वर्तमान यूनिट प्लान लेसन प्लान आउ एनुअल प्लान ए विषय रे किछि जानिचो
यस मैम
yes ma'am
ओके जेतेबेले आमे पूरा बहीटा को गोटे वर्ष रे केते वर्किंग डे रे कंप्लीट करबा केतेटा गोटे यूनिट को कंप्लीट करिया पे हमर केते पीरियड दरकार तापे हमर कोन टीचिंग लर्निंग मटेरियल दरकार ताको हमें को मेथड यूज करके पढ़ेबा जदि पूरा होल ईयर पे हमें गोटे प्लान करू हमें सेटा को कहू हमर एनुअल प्लान अंडरस्टैंड
यस मैम
सेमिति गोटे यूनिट को जेतेबेले हमें एनुअल प्लान तयारी करू हमें सेतले स्पेसिफिक हमें मेंशन करि परिबानी ता अंडर रे को सब टॉपिक ता अछि तापे मु कोन एग्जांपल देबी तापे मु कोन टीचिंग एड यूज करबी हमें एनुअल प्लान रे सब मेंशन करि परिबा नाही किंतु हमें यूनिट वाइज सेठी हमें मेंशन करबा किंतु जेतेबेले प्लान टा को आउट के स्पेसिफिक करिया को हमें चाहू सेतेबेले हमें कोन करू ना यूनिट प्लान तयारी करू गोटे यूनिट को पढ़ेबा पई मते टोटल केतेटा पीरियड दरकार केतेटा पीरियड मोर टीचिंग पीरियड रहिबो केतेटा पीरियड मोर एक्टिविटी पीरियड रहिबो से यूनिट अंडर रे आस्तुआ सब सब टॉपिक पई मु कोन टीचिंग एड यूज करबी से टीचिंग एड रे मोर जो मु से सब टॉपिक टा को मु को मेथड यूज करके पढ़ेबी मु सेतिरे कोन इवैल्यूएटरी क्वेश्चन पचारिबी ए सब रिलेटेड फ्रॉम द यूनिट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हमें जेतेबेले प्लान करू हमें सेटा को कहू यूनिट प्लान बुझी परलो एनुअल प्लान टा होची गोटे बड़ प्लान जोटा कि हमें गोटे वर्ष पई करू यूनिट प्लान होची गोटे पर्टिकुलर यूनिट को आखि आगे रखी हमें जेतेबेले प्लान करू सेटा होची यूनिट प्लान और लेसन प्लान होची फॉर एवरी क्लास मते जो 45 मिनिट्स पढ़ेबार अछि से 45 मिनिट्स रे मु कोन करिवि ता पई जो हमें प्लान तयारी करू हमें ताकू कहू लेसन प्लान ओके सो देयर आर थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ प्लान गोटे होची यूनिट प्लान एनुअल प्लान सॉरी आगो होची एनुअल प्लान तापर होची यूनिट प्लान तापर होची लेसन प्लान लेसन प्लान रो कोन कोन एरियाज गुडा को हमको फोकस करिया को पड़ियो प्रथमे मते लेसन प्लान तयारी कला बेले मते प्रथमे हमें जानिबा दरकार what is the content I am going to cover in the particular period so that is called as the selection of content then which method I will use to teach that content that is called as the selection of methods then selection of teaching learning material which is called as learning resources selection of learning resources then how I will evaluate after teaching I have to evaluate as you know in the traditional approach is there in the traditional approach mostly we follow the three steps one is introduction presentation and evaluation these are the three main parts in a traditional approach okay and in jodi ame modern approach koche that is called as the 5B model approach or 5B method okay a seithre amuku 5B रो पांचटा स्टेप भी जानी थी बोधे पढ़िছো आगरो
engage explore
अच्छा वेरी गुड तो आमे जतले एठी जो लेसन क्लास स्टेप्स ऑफ लेसन प्लान कोन करिवा प्रथमे स्टेप्स रे कोन हमर आसी जीवो ना प्रथमे हमें टॉपिक सिलेक्ट करिवा तापर हम कोन लिखिया पड़ियो हमको जनरल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स लिखिया पड़ियो हमको से सब्जेक्ट ता पढिले पिलांकर कोन डेवलपमेंट हबो जदि हमें from subject and from the unit point of view when we are going to write the objectives that is called as the general objectives but from the content from the specific content point of view when we are writing the objectives that is called as the specific objectives what we have to achieve within that 45 minutes then amaro jodi traditional रे अछि amar introduction केमिति करिवा introduction रे हम केमिति पिलांगर previous knowledge को टेस्ट करिवा हमें तांको केमिति मोटिवेट करिवा सेमानकर अटेंशन को हमें क्लासरूम को केमिति ड्रॉ करिवा हमको सेति इंट्रोडक्शन करा जाय गोटे इंट्रोडक्शन रहे फर्स्ट स्टेप ऑफ द ट्रेडिशनल अप्रोच इज दैट इंट्रोडक्शन देन प्लानिंग फॉर लर्निंग एक्टिविटीज मु केमिति पढेबी तापे मते मेथड सिलेक्ट करिया पड़ियो तापे प्लान करिया पड़ियो मते लर्निंग एक्टिविटीज गुडा प्लान करिया पड़ियो देन हमें समराइज जेतले पढा सरिला हमें ताको कंक्लूज करिवा प्रीव्यू करिवा समराइज करिवा देन वी विल कम टू इवैल्यूएशन और जेतले पढे सरला परे द अनदर पार्ट ऑफ द टीचर्स वर्क इज द रिफ्लेक्शन ऑन द लेसन प्लान मु जो हिसाब रे प्लान करितिली से हिसाब रे पढी पारिली कि नाही सेटा होची रिफ्लेक्टिंग ऑन द लेसन प्लान और दैट इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज द सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन द टीचर हिमसेल्फ और हरसेल्फ विल इवैल्यूएट whether I am able to teach according to plan or not that is called as the self evaluation so these are the mostly the steps we follow at the time of conducting a lesson plan yes जानि थिलो आगरो ए सब जिंसो
यस मैम
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we will move एटा जोटा मु वर्तमान कहले ट्रेडिशनल अप्रोच कहली आ तापर हमें डिस्कशन करिबा कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट टीचिंग जोटा कि हमें 5B अप्रोच कथा कहूचे एटा हमें ऑलरेडी कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्ट अप्रोच कोन डिस्कशन करि सारले हला चाइल्ड विल कंस्ट्रक्ट हिज ओन कांसेप्ट्स एंड नॉलेज टीचर इज अ फैसिलिटेटर आ 5B रे सेठी कोन होची जे हमें ट्रेडिशनल रे तीनटा कथा कहले 5B रे हमरो पांचटा स्टेप रहउची कोन कोन ना इवैल्यूएट एंगेज एक्सप्लोर हां प्रथमे रहउची कोन एंगेज then next step is the explore then third step is the explain then elaborate then evaluate ए सबु जाक पांचटा जाक स्टेप ई रे जेतु आरंभ होईची आको हमें कहू 5B model or 5B approach a 5B approach no this is called as a constructivist approach but the model is the 5B model हला आ विषय डिटेल जेते बेले तमरो यूनिट ब्लॉक 3 जो हमें डिस्कशन करिवा हिस्ट्री पॉलिटिकल साइंस अलग अलग सेते बेले हमें भले क्लियरली ए विषय डिस्कशन करिवा 5B विषय क्लियरली डिस्कशन करिवा हैला हमर आ गोटे यूनिट रहिला सेटा होची कोन असेसमेंट इवैल्यूएशन इन सोशल साइंस जोटा कि हमें वर्तमान हमें देखिले जे हमरो इवैल्यूएशन प्लेज अ वेरी इंपोर्टेंट रोल इन फ्रॉम द एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एंड आल्सो इन एवरी क्लास हैला से जो इवैल्यूएशन विषय रे ए तमरो होची यूनिट 5th यूनिट होची रिगार्डिंग असेसमेंट एंड इवैल्यूएशन कैन एनीवन टेल टू मी व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन असेसमेंट एंड इवैल्यूएशन ना दीटा जाको एका कथा ना किछि डिफरेंस अछि
दुईटा मैडम अलग अलग होची असेसमेंट केवल शौक्षिक माने कोन शिखिची छुआटा सेटा को हमें ये करूछु इवैल्यूएशन तार टोटल सामग्रिक विकास केते कोन हेची सेटा हमें देखुछु
अच्छा आउ की कहबो
मैं असेसमेंट केवल माने मूल्यांकन रे जीव माने केते रु केते मार्क रखिला इवैल्यूएशन माने सामग्रिक माने ता संगे तार माने मेंटली सहित तार फिजिकली डेवलप माने सेटा हबो कि
एक्चुअली जदि हमें दीटा भीतर डिफरेंस देखिबा इवैल्यूएशन इज ए ओल्ड टर्म पूर्वे हमें इवैल्यूएशन यूज करथले असेसमेंट इज ए न्यू टर्म ओके the difference is that evaluation is more quantitative in nature and assessment we give more focus on quality okay जोटा कि हमें इवैल्यूएशन रे मोस्टली मार्क को इंपोर्टेंस दो किंतु वर्तमान असेसमेंट कहला हमें ग्रेड पिलर क्वालिटी इंप्रूवमेंट ए सब कथा ऊपर इंपोर्टेंस दो असेसमेंट इज ए न्यू टर्म एंड इवैल्यूएशन इज ए ओल्ड टर्म एंड इवैल्यूएशन गिव मोर फोकस ऑन quantitative measurement but assessment give more focus on qualitative measurement okay आउ तापर हमें तमे तापर आगु को भी पढिबो जानिमो जे असेसमेंट वर्तमान केमिति assessment itself we are going to use as a learning assessment of learning assessment for learning and assessment as learning okay so now the new term we are going to use in the field of education is assessment
मैम
तो केते प्रकार
इवैल्यूएशन मींस ओल्ड टर्म कैसे हुआ माने इवैल्यूएशन माने सामग्रिक विकास भी सेटा को हमें कहंदे ना जेमिति कि नैतिक विकास भी सेतरे हुए होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट सेतरे
सेटा हमें इवाल असेसमेंट की हमें सब जगह रे कहू केवल इवैल्यूएशन में सामग्रिक विकास नुह असेसमेंट रे भी हमें सामग्रिक विकास कथा कहू असेसमेंट अधिका कहे आउदी सामग्रिक विकास कथा हला इवैल्यूएशन रे हमें क्वांटिटेटिव टर्म गुडा को यूज करथिले जेमिति कि गोटे पिलार मैथ केते होचे हमें तार मार्क द्वारा जानते बट असेसमेंट इज नॉट गोइंग टू टेल असेसमेंट इज बेस्ड ऑन द फीडबैक असेसमेंट इवैल्यूएशन इज बेस्ड ऑन जजमेंट ओके गोटे पिला पास हैला ना फेल हैला तो पास को फेल भीतर डिफरेंस होची गोटे मार्क जो पिला 30 आनला पास गोटे पिला 29 आनला फेल किंतु सी द डिफरेंस 29 से 30 भीतर किछि डिफरेंस नै ओनली द मैटर ऑफ डिफरेंस ऑफ 1 मार्क बट 30 आनिया पिलाटा पास 29 आनिया पिलाटा आउथरे पढिबो आउथरे परीक्षा दो ओके सो हियर वी आर गोइंग टू मेजर इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्वांटिटी बट असेसमेंट इज नॉट गोइंग टू टेल असेसमेंट कहूची जे कोन पई तार गोटे मार्क कमिला से जो गोटे मार्क पई ताको कोन करिया को पड़िबो तार ताको फीडबैक दियो तार मार्क कोठी कमिला एज ए टीचर आई माय ड्यूटी इज नॉट ओनली टू असाइन मार्क्स I have to give the feedback where the child lost the mark and what the other child has done and what he has not done and for that purpose what he has how he has to improve I have to give feedback for that okay so evaluation we can say it is based on judgment but assessment is based on feedback, reinforcement. दीटा देखो तमे जो पूछो the overall development कथा, both evaluation is going to tell, assessment is also going to tell the overall development. Okay, बुझी परलो कि कहउतलो?
Yes ma'am.
Okay, we will proceed. So there are different types of assessment. आमे जानी छे जे हमर assessment विभिन्न प्रकार रो अछि, जोटा कि हमें यदि प्लेसमेंट दबा पई हमें assessment करूचे, then it is called as placement assessment. पढ़ेला बेले जो assessment करूचे at the time of during the teaching learning process, it is called as formative assessment. Suppose to diagnose a problem when we are going to do the assessment, then it is called as a diagnostic assessment. And after instructional process, at the end when you are going to do the assessment, it is called as the summative assessment. So there are different types of assessment. And assessment strategies in social science.
अरे एग्जांपल टिके कहबे?
डायग्नोस्टिक असेसमेंट होची जते बेले हमें किछि गोटे प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई करबा पई हमें असेसमेंट करू. Suppose I am going to teach social studies. After I have already taught, but I know that the children have certain issues they are unable to understand. मानेकर मु सेमान को मैप रीडिंग विषय रे पढेइली, किंतु पिला माने मैप रीडिंग विषय रे सेमाने डायरेक्शन बुझी परनादी, कोपटे नॉर्थ कोपटे साउथ कोपटे वेस्ट पिला बुझी परनादी. से प्रॉब्लम टा को मानकर अछि ताकू बेस करिके जति मो इवैल्यूएशन करूची, म आइडेंटिफाई करिया चाहू जे को पिला मानकर ए प्रकार प्रॉब्लम अछि, देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज द डायग्नोस्टिक असेसमेंट. बुझी परला? संदे मानकर मैथ पढौची, मु पिला मानको एडिशन पढौची, मते डबल डिजिट एडिशन पढेबार अछि, मु पढै सालिनी डबल डिजिट एडिशन, किंतु को पिला बुझी पारलानी जे डबल डिजिट एडिशन विथ कैरिंग किए करि पारुची किए करि पारनी. तो सेही प्रॉब्लम टा को आइडेंटिफाई करिया पे मोते गोटे माने सेपरेट गोटे असेसमेंट मते करिया को पड़े. एंड दोस टाइप ऑफ असेसमेंट इज कॉल्ड एज द डायग्नोस्टिक असेसमेंट. बुझी परलो? टू डायग्नोज द प्रॉब्लम.
हेलो मैम.
So yes,
action research जीवो की डायग्नोस्टिक रे?
action research is not a assessment tool. Assessment action research is to find a solution to a problem. आमे कहि परिबा जे आमे एक्शन रिसर्च पूर्व गोटे डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट करिबा, किंतु एक्शन रिसर्च का होची तार ट्रीटमेंट.
मैम सपोज मैथ गोटे चैप्टर पढ़ाई गला, तापर जो टेस्ट है सेटा डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट ना सेटा फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट?
ना ना ना, जदि तुम हमर पर्पस अलग, जदि मु केवल प्रॉब्लम जानिया पय जो टेस्ट का करूची सेटा को कहिबे डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट, किंतु मु अचीवमेंट जानिया पय पिला मानकर गोटे टेस्ट होची सेटा को कहिबे अचीवमेंट टेस्ट. मोर उद्देश्य कोन अछि, फॉर व्हाट पर्पस आई एम गोइंग टू कंडक्ट दैट, ता परे कर देले एटा को एया कहि ता पर ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द पर्पस यू हैव टू नेम इट, वेदर इट इज अ डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट और इट इज अ अचीवमेंट टेस्ट. मतलब ओवरऑल अचीवमेंट पिला को जानिया पय.
मैम ताले अचीवमेंट टेस्ट और फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट भीतर डिफरेंस कोन?
Formative तो होची during the teaching learning process when we conduct, then it is called as the formative. Achievement होची overall achievement, मतलब दीटा तीनटा यूनिट पढ़े साला पर मैं overall जो तबे करूचे तो they are called as the achievement test. Mostly achievement test summative assessment लोग हम achievement test को summative assessment.
डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट टा टिके बुझी हेलानी एक्चुअली सेटा केते बेले हुए आ सेटा केंदी
Diagnostic assessment you can do at the time of teaching or at the end of the teaching. It's not a problem. When you will do, it's not a problem. But the purpose is that to identify the problem you are conducting the test. मु एटा पढेली डबल डिजिट एडिशन, किंतु केतेटा पिल्लांगर डबल डिजिट एडिशन ने मोर प्रॉब्लम रहउची, तमे पढेलो किंतु देखुचो कल्ला बेले पिला माने करि पारु ना. Then you conduct a test who are unable to do to identify the
सेटा
problem.
मैटर करेनी जे को प्लान एनुअल प्लान रे कलो कि लेसन प्लान रे माने बेले कलो कि
लेसन प्लान कथा एठी आसुनी, हमें तो असेसमेंट कथा डिस्कशन करूचे, सेटा तो प्लान कथा आसुनी. यूनिट प्लान दिस आर द प्लानिंग, असेसमेंट इज डिफरेंट.
ना मैम जो से जो कहजंती जो डायग्नोस्टिक असेसमेंट ता केतरा करा जिवो, आपण जो कहलेनी कि जो समरी भी करे, हां टाइम डज नॉट मैटर.
Matter, but the purpose matter. Here the
Class
purpose
summary
matters
भी
for why I am going to do that test. Okay?
ओके मैम
मैम सीसी टा कोड जो मैडम
कोडा
मैम सीसी टा जो कंटिन्यू एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव एवल्यूशन एटा को टेस्ट
continuous
जो
comprehensive evaluation is a total evaluation eta kothre jibo nuho. Continuous comprehensive evaluation we focus on the two types of assessment. One is formative assessment, one is summative assessment. Eta ko under re jibo seta no, that is a comprehensive evaluation process. CC.
यस मैम
Au kichi doubt?
मैम ता माने डायग्नोस्टिक असेसमेंट ता पर्टिकुलरली गोटे प्रॉब्लम को डिटेक्ट करिया को कि मोर देन वन प्रॉब्लम डिटेक्ट करिया पई आ फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट रे बोथ डिटेक्ट भी होबो एज वेल एज स्टूडेंट केते अचीव कला सेटा भी
Formative assessment mostly we do at that time of the teaching learning process to understand to what extent the children are able to understand it. Formative. And during the teaching learning process. But diagnostic test is we are going to do to identify the problem. आमी जेतल देखु जे किछु गोटे problem हेछि, then we know that काहा काहा पाखरे problem अछि. सेतेबेले आमे जो टेस्ट ता करू सेटा को diagnostic test. Okay?
मैडम फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट हापेली परीक्षा तो फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट जीवनी
हापेली टा सब्जेक्टिव
Summative. After formative then is summative.
करे
त्रैमासिक कहू सेटा फॉर्मेटिव रे जीवो
त्रैमासिक आउ नाही वर्तमान नेबे हमर after completion of a unit we are going to conduct a test.